Hello, what's up, y'all? I'm Cortez Ransom, the host of the C Note, where we keep it 100 or 100, as we say here in Baltimore, and the real recognize real. And we also see you fake asses out there too, coming to you tonight with this very special episode, Season 3, Episode 3, with my very special guest, the multi-talented, the dynamic, chart-topping recording artist, singer, songwriter, recording artist, Mr. Devon Howard. I'm waiting for him to come on now. I think that's him. Let me see. I can't remember that. There it is, right there. Okay, cool. One. Okay. You see the request? All right, I see you. Can you hit the request button again? Hey, what's up? How are you? Devon, can you hear me? Yeah. Hold up. Can you hit the request button again? To join me on the screen? I see something down there. Okay. Accept. Oh, there we go. I just want to give me a hard time. There we go. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. This is all new for me. It's the second time for me. So
Yeah, I know. The second time, because you normally just do like audio interviews,
or just Skype, like mostly Skype. So
mostly Skype.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, everyone, we have here Mr. Devon Howard. He is a Baltimore native son. He is a triple threat, a singer, songwriter, recording artist. And he started writing songs in his childhood. We're going to get a little bit more to that later, okay, about where his influences came from. He was originally influenced vocally by Babyface
Yes.
and Elder Barge,
Yes.
as well as Michael Jackson. Also, Love Neo's work as well.
Yes.
And I can tell a lot of that in your vocal
Yeah.
style and so forth. You also graduated from the infamous Baltimore School for the Arts, High School for Performing
I
Arts,
did.
where Miss Jada Pinkett graduated from, and the legendary rap artist / actor Mr. Tupac Shakur also
Yes.
attended. You were a member of the 90s boy band, the RCA recording artist boy band, Me to You, and your first video, Me to You, Wendy Williams
Yes.
and SWV.
SWV.
What was the video?
Yes.
SWV
They
was
were in it as well. Yeah.
it was in the video. Yeah, you also have been around and worked with people such as Usher and the legendary Miss Dionne Warwick, such as
Yes.
that. Yeah. Okay. So eventually, when the band or the group just disbanded, you went over to Japan and Europe, and you did some recording over there.
Yeah. Well, I recorded here, but it was
For here.
marketed over there. Yeah.
Okay. I was going by what I read. Let's try to do it all from memory right now. But
I signed licensing deals over there. So I recorded here, and then I licensed it there. So that I signed labels with labels over there.
Okay. Yeah. So then you eventually went solo. So was your project in 2015? Was that your first solo project?
No.
Return to Love.
No.
What was your first one?
I recorded some other stuff before. I think the first project I did was in 2007. That was with Other Side of the Bed, which was released here. And
Yeah, I love
then
that song. I love
yeah,
that
and
song.
then I licensed
Great
to
video
Europe.
too.
With Chris
Yeah.
Robinson. So the video, and I licensed it, the CD with a label in Europe, and then again in Japan. So that was 2007.
Okay. So I want to go back for a minute. Well, let me stay here for 1 second. Why such a big lapse in time between 2015 and just releasing your next solo album? with Return to Love in 2015, and now Morning Sun just being released in March of this year.
I don't know. I just took my time. I think that one of the things that I did was I wanted to kind of be free of labels
Hmm.
and management and just any other input because
Yeah,
I think sometimes business gets in the way of creativity. And I said, let me just try to do this. And I just started writing and with no real
okay.
intention in mind. And it just kind of came together and it was an
Hmm.
album. So, and I put it out. So that's the first time that it's all me. No
Right.
group, no management, no label, just all me, all my ideas.
Okay. Okay. So Return to Love had other people involved
No,
involved with it.
that was the
That was
first
the first
album,
one.
Return to Love album.
Okay. So
Yeah,
Morning Sun is your
the
second
second
one. It's just all
official album for me.
official.
Yeah,
Yeah. Which, by the way, I should have mentioned. Um, it's a very great album.
thank you.
Like a lot of times nowadays, you don't really hear a lot of albums that you can listen to from start to finish.
Yeah.
But Morning Sun is one of those albums where I listen to it and I like every cut.
Well,
Of
good.
course,
Thank you.
I have a couple of favorites, but I actually love every cut. And you don't
Yeah,
really get that too much nowadays.
it's
And
true.
from that album, the album did go to number one on the R&B and the soul charts here in the
Yes.
States. Plus, you've also had four top 10 hits from that album so far. First,
Yes.
well, let me work this way. You had, I'm trying to remember the titles by heart. The one that went to
Yes.
number four, um,
So that was
Wherever You Are.
Wherever You Are. Yeah, that was
Wherever
the
You Are
third
went to
single.
number four, peaked at number
Yes.
four. And then you had three number ones, which
Yes.
was Forever and
Forever and
Always,
Always.
um, Your Love
Your
Is,
love is, which you're
which
in the
I appeared in
video.
that video. And
Right.
thank you for inviting me to appear in that video, which was shot by the great Mr. Alvin Gray,
Yes.
very talented cinematographer and actor as well. And then it was Oh Love, correct?
Yes. Oh, Love was the latest one. So
That went
Holding On is
to
the
number
new
one.
single, and
Holding On is the
that just
new
charted.
single.
Yeah, and it just charted. So we'll see where that goes.
Yeah, I see that it's traveling all over the
It
world with this one, with
is.
Holding On.
It's funny
It's a
because
great.
right
Mhm,
before I
go ahead.
signed on, I heard it on HUR. I just heard it on HWHUR right before I
Yeah.
came on. Yeah,
Hmm.
so that was pretty cool.
Well, let me say I'm very proud of you and very happy
Thank
for
you.
you.
Thank you.
We'll get into our history a little bit.
Yes.
But
Yes.
you started writing songs in your childhood.
I
And
did.
so did I, actually. I
Yes.
started
Well, we
writing
met.
when I was like,
We started working together really young, so that was around the
yeah,
time we were writing.
yeah.
Just
So
started
yeah,
writing, I'm sure.
we'll say that. We met when we were like 8 years
Yes.
old, 9 years old, because I
Well,
started writing songs when I was like 9. So
yeah.
I
I can't
started
remember. I
writing
know it was a
plays.
long time.
I started writing I started writing plays and songs when I was like 9 years old. Um,
Oh wow.
yeah, but it was just something that was born in me. The arts have always been a part of me.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Same
so I
here.
think it was a part of you as well. But you had some particular influences, some special influences in your life as far as like with songwriting and all that. I know who it is, but I want you to tell the
Yeah.
audience who that special influence was.
Yeah. So my father was a songwriter, and
Hmm.
it's funny because I'm the last of five kids. So a lot of what
Hmm.
he did, I didn't find out until I got older. But I would sit and listen to music with him. That's kind of how I developed my ear for
Right.
understanding arrangement and
Hmm.
kind of listening to detail, right? Which is
Yeah.
which is really helpful for me now, right? I
Hmm.
can really lean on that now, what he taught me.
Right.
Um, so, that was one of my first influences when it came to writing. So, and he was a songwriter. So he passed in 2000, no, excuse me, 19, it's been a long time, 1987.
Wow.
And I
Okay.
inherited his briefcase with all his songs in it, right?
Hmm.
And so I got a chance to go look through it. I'm like, wow, he was a really good writer. And the one thing that he could do that I can't do is that he could write the notes out. He can write the notes out.
Okay. Okay.
And I thought that was really, you know, intriguing because I'm like, wow, I didn't know that he was that really deep
Right.
into his craft,
Hmm.
right? And after he passed, I learned that he had a song out that was on the radio with a group from Baltimore called the Blue Lights,
Wow.
and
Okay.
yeah. And so um, I looked it up. It was on YouTube, and then I found out that they had actual 45 records of it, and I ordered one, so I have a copy of it. And I think that was really special.
Mm-hmm.
And the irony is
Oh,
that
don't
that
freeze
record came.
up on me.
Am I freezing up or are you freezing up?
There you
Oh, I
go.
can hear. Yeah, yeah. And so what happened was that record came out the year that I
Mm-hmm.
was born, which
Okay. Well, we're going to
really
say
interesting.
when that was.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
going to stay where that was.
No, no,
But
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, so it's on YouTube. I'm going to have to look it up. The Blue Lights was the name of the group, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So, having found some of his lyrics and so forth, have you ever thought about recording any of his songs? You singing some of your dad's songs?
No,
Or
uh-uh.
doing anything with it?
No,
With him?
I think that, for me, it's always like I will be influenced by it, but I won't duplicate it. You know what I'm saying? I won't
Okay.
copy it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just feel like that's his work, right?
Yeah.
And that was his time period. And
Mm-hmm.
this is just a whole nother time period. And I wouldn't want to kind of rework it so much that it doesn't sound like his work anymore.
Okay.
Because it's a different time period.
Oh, yeah.
It was a different era in music. So, but I value it for what it is and what
Mm-hmm.
it was for him.
Yeah. I understand that. I get that. I mean, for me, um, not that I had a bunch of musical influences in the house with me, but I do have a parent that could sing. You know, my mom could sing. Um,
Okay.
she was actually an operatic soprano. Okay, she didn't pursue that probably because of my
Right.
grandparents. My mother was on the honor roll. She was on the
Okay.
honor roll in high school, and she was a member of the etiquette club and all of that. And she very smart, very intelligent, pretty young lady with a great voice. But she was the oldest of 9 children.
Oh,
My
wow.
grandparents were still making babies when my mother was in the 11th grade. Okay.
Wow.
So, because they were still making babies and she was the
She
oldest, they made her
she was
drop
the
out of
babysitter.
school to
Oh,
watch
okay.
those children.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she begged them not to take her out of school, right? And my grandfather was like, well, no. But she was like, I only got one more year to go. Please don't take me out of school. Only got one more year. And so my grandfather was like, well, no, you're going to help us now. So she was like, I can help y'all after I graduate. And
Wow.
my grandfather was like, no, you're going to help us now. So they made her drop out of school. And I don't believe my mother would have got married so young if it wasn't for that. I think she
Yeah.
got married so young just to get out of their house.
Yeah,
Not that my grandparents were bad people. My grandparents were wonderful people. My grandmother was
yeah,
is like an
it was
angel
a
on earth,
different
like an
era.
angel
Yeah,
on
a
earth.
different era.
Yeah, they were good parents, loving parents, but they both were going to work, and so they
Yeah.
made their oldest child watch
Right.
their babies that they were still having. But I think that she only got married so young because she got married at 18
Wow. Yeah, my
to get
mother
out of
did
their
too.
house,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because I think that if they hadn't made her drop out of school to watch their children, she would have went away to college because
Right.
she was on the
Wow.
honor roll and all that. She was on the honor roll and all that, and she probably would have pursued music and all that if she hadn't been, So she was. So what she did when she turned 18, she got married. I guess she
Right.
figured. I guess she figured if I'm going to be stuck watching some kids, I might as well get married in my home. Right. So,
Right.
and like you said you're the youngest of five. I'm
I'm
also
the
the
youngest
youngest of
of five.
five.
Yeah. Oh,
I'm
wow.
also the youngest of five from my mother's children. I, she had 2 girls and 3 boys,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah. So it
so
was 2 boys and 3 girls with us.
yeah, and of course, like they say, Papa's a Rolling Stone. My
Oh,
biological
okay.
my biological father, he has children out there with other women, though.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, I got some other siblings as well. I have a brother who's an actor
Oh,
also, but
wow.
I didn't meet him until I was grown. at
Did you
our
did
at
you
our
guys would you guys have worked together or have you ever worked together?
We have not worked together. Well, we have. We were in a couple of stage readings together, right? A couple of stage readings, not like a full-on production. Now, what happened was he actually wanted to start a black theater company several years ago, like around 2014, somewhere. He wanted to start a black theater company, which he wanted me to be a part of. Okay,
Mm.
so the first production was going to be an August Wilson play. And so we started rehearsing for that. He just wanted to direct the play. He didn't want to act in it. He just wanted to direct this particular piece. The person who was playing the lead role dropped out on him at the last minute. So here he is. He got to direct. Now he got to direct and play this lead role at the same time. And he got really frustrated because some of the other people in the play did not know their lines in the first act
Oh
of the
wow.
play, and we were getting caught. Of course, I knew my shit, and a couple of other people, because I don't play with that. I'm very serious about it, you know. So a couple of other people in the play knew too, but he got frustrated and he just stopped. So you know, but I do have some ideas of like as far as like putting him in some. I have a film that I want to do with him,
Okay.
you know, because I do
It'd
want
be
us to.
interesting. Yeah, my brother was into music as
Mhm.
well. I wish that we could have worked together, but you know, he passed away in 2000. So, but he was really talented. He was a drummer. He was a bass player, a guitar player. You know, he was able to
Mhm.
do everything. So, yeah.
Yeah. And speaking of that, was it your cousin you said you released Morning Sun on his
Oh, my
birthday
brother's
or
birthday. It
your
was my
birthday,
brother.
March the 5th?
Yeah,
Okay, your brother's birthday, yeah,
yeah, and,
because
and
I
it,
got
it's funny because my birthday is 3 days later. So I was like, oh,
yeah,
okay,
I
this is a
remember
rhyme.
that
But
year,
I said,
March as
no, I want
well.
to kind of dedicate this to him. So I did it on his birthday.
Yeah, that's sweet because I got into that conversation with you because I'm very sentimental, right?
Yeah,
So I tend to like sometimes name some of the characters in my films. As a screenwriter and actor, I name some of my characters after people that I know and care about. Not that the character is based on them. The character is not
right.
necessarily based on them. I just wanted to name the character that because I have love and respect for them. Like the character, like the mother in my very first film is named after my mother.
Oh,
My mother's
wow.
first
Okay.
name, my mother's first name is Minnie. You know, like the great Minnie Riperton.
Right. Right.
So, yeah. So I named the mother in my first film, Speak a Real Minnie, after my mother,
Wow.
and I also named one of the grandmothers after my grandmother as well. So and yeah, that's how I got into that conversation about that.
Hmm.
August the 2nd coming up, but I won't talk about
Yeah.
that anyway. Yeah. So the School for the Arts.
Yes.
How was that? How was that attending that school? Was it like on the movie?
No.
Were you guys like breaking into song in the middle and in the hallway
No.
at the class? Okay.
No.
Okay.
It was still structured, but it was different than a regular high school
Hmm.
though. But it was still structured there. People were singing around the hallways or something like that, just kind of normal, not anything crazy. It didn't turn into a musical. But it was really cool, I thought. I mean, I'm really grateful for it because of the discipline. Like, you
Right.
know,
So if I
that
remember
discipline was very
correctly,
key.
did you say you went there because I watched you on the other the sisters
Yes.
interview. Um, did you say that you went there for dance and not
Yeah.
voice? Okay, I thought I remember that correctly. See, I was paying
Dancing.
attention. I was paying attention. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
went there for
So
dance. Yeah, go ahead.
yes. So I studied dance, which was, a lot of work, because
Mm-hmm.
I love dancing, but it wasn't necessarily my passion, so to speak. You know what I mean? I love to dance, but then when you have to do it and go through the technical parts of it and really learn all of that stuff, it's like, okay. But that's why I said the discipline was very good because I was able to apply that to the music.
Right.
And I
Mm-hmm.
could be in the studio for hours on end,
Yeah.
without getting tired or I'm still going, you know what I mean? And I see other
Right.
people fizzling out and I still want to go.
Yeah.
That's because of the discipline from
Mm-hmm.
school. So that was really helpful, but it was pretty good. I mean, I think I enjoyed myself.
Yeah. Because I was always picturing it was like on the movie, like
Nope.
yo guys just bursting in the song in the
No,
middle, always
no,
twirling and all that.
no.
So what was your favorite style of dance? Your favorite genre of dance?
Um, to perform, I like jazz. Like jazz dance
Okay.
was really cool. To
Hmm.
watch ballet, I love to watch ballet dance, um, because of the technique and just
Okay.
it's really beautiful the lines and stuff. But you know,
Did they ever have you tapped too?
I think we did it once or twice. I think somebody came
Okay.
in, but it wasn't really a requirement.
Right.
It was just something like they brought in a tap
Because
teacher for a day.
you know how Usher did that updated soulful version of Singing in the Rain.
I I don't think I've seen that.
You never saw
I
him do
don't.
Singing in the Rain?
Uh-uh.
Like, oh yeah, well he did it a while back.
Did he tap?
That's actually something that was on my mind a long time ago. I
Oh,
wanted to do like a soulful version of Singing in the Rain. I
okay.
had tap shoes. I had
Oh,
tap
okay.
shoes,
Yeah, it just
so
tap
I
didn't
wanted to
work
do
for
that.
me though.
Yeah,
That wasn't good for me.
right, right. But I don't do tap dancing in real life. But anyway,
Yeah.
you know what I
See.
mean. As far as what's going on in the world, I will. But anyway, I'm not going to get into all that stuff. But you know, that's how it is. And I was hoping that our friend was going to be on here, but
She's
hopefully, you know,
not. Is she around? Is I don't know.
I I did send her a message.
Okay.
I sent her a message to remind her, you know, that we were about to come on. So, you know, she may pop in here.
Yeah.
So, as far as music is concerned and your original influences, what about them stuck out in your mind that made you say, I want to be similar, not like that, but similar to that, or that's a style that I want to sort of
I don't know.
put my
I
own stamp
don't know if I ever thought that. You know what I mean? I
on?
don't. You know, I really
You just
enjoyed.
like their songs. You just like
Yeah.
the sound, their
I
sound.
just. I just. It's. I don't. It's weird. I never wanted to imitate anybody. I know that sometimes you can hear the influences, but that's not on purpose.
Hmm.
Um, I enjoyed listening to music. And
Okay.
it's even beyond my influences because I really like Anita Baker, Angela Bofill, people like that,
Right.
Heat Wave. I
Hmm.
just really like listening to music. So I think I pull a little bit of something from everybody. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just it's more so feeling, and I
Hmm.
think it's trying to capture a feeling
Right.
more than trying to capture duplicating
No,
somebody's thing. It's
I
more so
wasn't
the
asking
feeling.
about duplicating anybody.
Right.
No, I would never suggest you duplicate
No, no,
anyone.
no.
You
But
gotta
some
have
people
your.
do though.
Oh,
Some
I
people do.
know.
They'll use it as
I know.
somebody else as a template. But yeah, I really
Yeah.
try to chase a feeling more so than anything.
Hmm. Okay. So when you started writing songs as a child, did you write different genres or just one particular genre? Because, you know, I asked that question because when I was writing, I used to have songs pop in my head all the time, even
Yeah.
country stuff. And
Well, I don't even know if I was writing in genre. I just was writing.
just
You know what I'm
writing.
saying? I was just
Yeah,
writing.
well, I don't know if I would call it a
Right.
genre back then either because I don't even think I knew what that was back then. I just
Yeah,
writing in different
exactly. We were
styles.
just writing. So I mean, I wasn't really listening to country music, so I wouldn't have written country.
Right.
You know what I mean? But whatever I was listening to, I guess, it would be somewhere in that space. But and back then it was like a lot of music was kind of fused together. Pop and R&B was
Hmm.
fused together. So, you know,
Yeah, that brings me to you saying that. That brings me to the fact that you have like a fusion going on with your new music.
I
It's
do.
like well, because that's what it says. That's what it says in your bio and
Okay.
everything. Like you fuse like like the '90s
Yeah, you mean
feel with the
yeah,
modern with what's
yeah,
going on now.
eras, right, of music. Yeah.
Yeah.
It it is what it is. I think for me, I just always try to be honest and keep it real. So I'm a product of the 90s, right? And so
Hmm.
my biggest influences came from the 90s. So I don't want to abandon that to try to fit into, this space. But
I
I'm
understand.
also aware that in order to fit into the space, you have to kind of, you know, change some things
Hmm.
or just, and for me, it was just more so finding music
Right.
that was more current. And then I can just kind of write the way that I write and sing the way that I sing over top of it.
Yeah, I got you. What was I going to say? That I was going to say, but it, no, it had something to do with um one of the things I wanted to ask you about when you went solo, right?
Hmm.
Because you were in a group. How long were you in the group? Me to you.
Well, me to you, that didn't really last as long as people think,
Which
right?
but
Because
all the way, you also appeared on Soul Train,
yes,
um,
the Apollo,
Soul Train, the Apollo BET. Yeah.
yes, VT, Jerry Lewis Telethon. We did a lot of stuff in a small amount
Okay.
of time.
Hmm.
Um, but we were signed within a year, like of getting together, and that's really
Okay.
outside of knowing two of the guys already. We're just
Hmm.
meeting, like everybody all together collectively. We're just meeting and just
Yeah.
trying to gel. Everybody was great singers, so really that helped. And we were
Hmm.
signed within a year, and
Okay.
so and just kind of took off from there. So I think about maybe 2.5, 3 years.
Right. So when did you make the decision that you was just going to go out on your own and go solo?
Um, and after 3 years,
After that 3 years?
yeah, no. So, it was just, learning, being in a situation like that. It's like a roller coaster ride. And
Mhm.
coming into it so young, you're learning so much all at once, right? And one thing
Yeah,
for me that was very important was business, and
right.
just making sure that um, I understood that I was being respected and that I was getting what I was owed, right?
Right.
And so, you know, that wasn't necessarily the case, so I moved on, you
Hmm.
know. So then two other guys, once the group broke up, then me and two of the other guys from the group, we got back together, and we kind of went on for about another 7 to 8 years or so as
Okay.
diverse. Yeah, and then after that is when I was like, okay, I think creatively it was time to just kind of go off and do some
Hmm.
other things. So
Okay. Okay. So you're a well-rounded person. One thing I want to ask you, I know a lot of people assume that people in the arts are always outgoing, right?
mhm.
Which is not always the case. We're not all naturally outgoing.
No,
Because even with me starting this podcast, I started this podcast because I'm not naturally someone who talks to people. I'm
right?
normally very quiet and laid back. I don't talk a lot. So I
Yeah,
started this podcast to make me be more comfortable with speaking to people because I am very kind of introverted and shy. I
yeah,
have
I
to
can
push
be
myself
too.
to do it.
I can be that too, but I think that you learn how to, when in situations, to especially as an
Hmm.
artist, you can't just stand in the back. You
Right.
you have to be seen, you have to step forward. So I think that you learn how to turn it on
Yeah.
when needed. Like, I guess in my personal life, if I'm out, I'll kind of retreat to the back.
Mhm.
But musically and professionally, you know that you kind of have to step forward and be seen, or you'll be
Right.
they'll just kind of gloss over you and just keep
Yeah.
moving. So
Yeah. It's the same thing with theater and film as well. You got to
yeah.
step out there and make it happen. I think I saw a message pop up from Dina, but I'm afraid to try to check it because I don't want to
All
mess this up. So
right. Where you at,
hopefully,
Dana?
uh,
I'm just
we,
where is she?
I don't know if she's home or not. I wasn't able
I'm not
to
sure.
see the message when it popped up.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can text her or not, right quick, or
No,
if you have
because
more
I
than
had
one.
to I had to pick up my phone because I tried to pull this up on my computer, but for some reason it
Mm-hmm.
was doing some crazy stuff. So I'm on my phone now. So I'm actually holding my phone while we're talking.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
holding it in your
I'm
hand.
holding it because my computer, for some reason, it wasn't pulling up
Oh,
fast enough. So
you
I
know,
just
you need to get one of those tripod things for
and
your phone.
I have one, but it's downstairs. So
Oh, okay.
I had planned to use my computer, but like I said,
Hmm.
it was taking too long. You said you sent me a request, and I couldn't see it. So I just
Okay.
snatched my phone real quick and signed on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I want people to know some more about you, not just the music side,
Okay.
but the humanitarian side of you, because you're someone who also has worked with children in the foster care system and all that.
Yes.
Now, is this something that you just kind of fell into, or is it something that you sought out to get involved
I
with?
think wow. I think it was kind of um I, I kind of fell into it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's something that I've always done to a degree, right? I've always taught dance to kids, um, kind of fresh out of high school or whatever. And I always felt like when you have
Right.
the ability to, then you should always give back in some capacity, right?
Hmm.
Especially with the arts. I think that's always
Yeah,
you know an
I agree.
escape for a lot of kids, right?
Right.
As it was for me. It was an
Hmm.
escape from who knows what I
Yeah,
would
I
be doing if I
was
wasn't
teaching
doing music.
acting to some black youth a few months ago.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it, it was really rewarding,
It
working with
is. And
them.
so
Yeah.
I started working with this agency. It was called SWAPS at the time, Social Workers Associates
Hmm.
Placement Services, and they placed kids into foster homes. And I was doing youth advocate work, and a lot of it was social stuff. So we'd be out in the community, just kind of doing stuff, and then we started adding musical stuff and other things like that. So it was really rewarding. And then I guess years in, I started doing one-on-one work, which was even more rewarding because then you can work with the kids individually and have more influence. And
Right.
so, and from that, a lot of kids are doing really well, which I'm
Okay.
grateful for. And I've introduced music to a lot of them. So, and a lot of them still doing music to this day. And that was a very long time
Mhm.
ago. So, and that was a blessing. So,
What's up? So this is a really rewarding thing, and you've
yes,
helped a lot of children, which is very
yeah.
important. You are a producer. Um, what artists have you produced, and do you like name any of the people that may have stuff out right now that you produce
Well,
or
I've worked with
in the
other
past?
people.
Oh,
I have worked with people who put stuff out, but I think producing for me actually started as an opportunity for me to kind of, again,
mhm.
remember I said I got rid of everybody. And
Yeah.
so that was an opportunity for me to kind of go into myself and say, hey, this is how you hear it.
Mhm. Right.
So this is how you should do it. And so that's
Mhm.
producing for me started because it was an opportunity for me to do it the way that I um, heard it and the way
Got
I
you.
see it. And when you're working with other people, you don't always have that opportunity.
That's
You know what I mean?
true. Mhm.
Especially if they're producing it. So you're kind of just, even if you write it, it's like a lot of times it feels collaborative in a sense, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, a lot of
Yeah.
times you're not there for the editing or the mixing and mastering, whatever. And I wanted to be a part of all of it. And so, like I said, I just got rid of all those people so I can do it on my own.
Mhm.
And that's how that album was created, Return to Love, is it
Yeah.
was really just me. And so
Okay.
everything that you hear is authentically and purely me because I
Mhm.
wrote it, I produced it, I arranged it, I edited it, I did it all. And the good thing about that is that I have been around so many people for so long that
Yeah.
a lot of it was second nature to me to do.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I remember one of my mentors early on, Woody Harris. We would just sit in the studio
Hey,
for
y'all,
hours.
people waving.
Oh, and we would sit in the studio for hours. And I remember being a teenager.
Hmm.
That was right around the time that I met you.
Yeah.
And I would just watch. And literally, I couldn't touch nothing, but I would
Hmm.
just watch everything happen. So it was kind of like second nature when I started to do it on my own.
Okay.
And so I haven't really worked with anybody since.
Okay. I know you work with what's his name, Septimius the Great,
I did, yes,
and Marty,
yes,
right? Is that
Miss
the
Kelly,
name?
yes,
Miss Kelly. Yeah. I wasn't
yeah,
sure. I forgot what name
yeah, yeah.
they go by. I
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want
So
to
I
get
mean,
it wrong.
I work with a few people, but like, again, producing for me came about to kind of take the reins and just kind of, you know, for
Mhm.
myself. I didn't
Right.
necessarily say I want to be a producer. I just kind of wanted to have more control over the product that I created. And so it
I
came
get it.
about for that reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. So, um, I also read about you realize the importance of visuals as far as photo and
Yes.
video when it
Yes.
comes to your music.
Yes.
So, do you create the concepts for your videos, or do you have somebody else do that?
Yeah.
Or mm,
So we'll start with the photography first because
mhm.
Lolita Braley,
Yeah,
when I was in diversity, she kind of came in then, right, to
mhm.
work with us. And then post diversity, we just kept working together, and she helped me find my solo, posturing and my solo,
Yeah,
look.
hmm,
Because it's difficult when you've been in a group your whole professional career, then you kind of always know that somebody is around you, and you have
right.
to kind of move and pose according to, you know,
Hmm.
what's
I
around you.
got you.
So we worked on. I think we did a couple shoots where I was by myself, and it
Mhm.
was it was like interesting. So um, over the years, like whenever I come up with an idea or I'll find some clothes or something, I'll just call her, hey, I want to shoot, and she'll just come up on a shoot.
Mhm.
And so that was important for me, and I think that's when that influenced looking at people who were very imagey and stylish, and I understood that early
Right.
on, like, oh, okay, so that's important. Like there is a
Hmm.
art to this whole thing. It's not just the music. And
Yeah.
with the videos, I worked with Chris Robinson, and that was really cool. You know, he's a really great guy. But again, when you come into those situations, it's already planned, and you're not really part of that planning. I wasn't part of that planning.
Mhm.
Even to me to you, we just kind of the concepts were somebody else's idea, and you
Okay.
just kind of show up and you do what you know you're supposed to
Mhm.
do. So when I got to work with Alvin Gray, he's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, you met him and you know him, so but you know he can take something, an idea, and just kind of move it to a whole nother space that you can't even see,
So
you
when y'all
know,
shot those 3 videos in one
in one
day, who came
day.
up
And
with those
I was okay with
concepts?
it because it was Alvin Gray. Now, anybody else, I'm
No,
like,
I
oh,
said
okay,
who came up
oh.
with those? Who came up with the concepts for those 3 videos? Was
Well,
it
I
you
did.
or a
Yeah,
combination
yeah,
of you
I
both?
did.
Okay.
So I, you know, I took the reins on that because he was shooting 2 movies at the time. And so
Yeah.
we only had one day
Hmm.
to shoot the 3 videos. I was trying to get 4 in, by the way.
Okay.
And
Were you?
I'm
Okay.
glad I didn't because
Uh-huh.
I was kind of out of it after the third one. So
I can
um
imagine. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, so he just comes in and he just kind of assesses the place and he kind of already sets up his shots
Hmm.
and we just go and I trust him, you know what I mean? And it's just
Yeah.
that creative thing where you know that you can just focus in on what you're doing and you don't have to
Right.
worry about what he's doing because you got it. He's 100% on top of his game. And so
Hmm.
I really appreciate that with him. And he's not trying to say, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. He just creatively lets you do what you do and he just captures it in the best
Yeah.
light possible. So I love working with him. He's like a creative brother to me. So I can always depend on him for when I have ideas. Um,
Yeah.
and and we'll do more in the future.
Well, I love the experience of appearing in Your Love Is, and I
It was
thank
fun.
you for asking me to be in that. I appreciate it. I was honored to be in that video.
Yeah, it was
Um,
fun. We had a lot of
yeah,
fun.
yeah, it was fun. It
Yeah.
was fun. Yeah, and meeting the people that I met. But I didn't know D until that day.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
shot that during COVID. I think that was kind of when they started lifting stuff. So we, you know,
Oh
had a
yeah,
limit on how many people could be there or whatever, but we made it work. So it came out really nice.
right, right. Cool. So, because I didn't want to get into that early on, and I was hoping that homegirl was going to pop up on here.
Yeah, yeah.
But Devon and I met, as he mentioned, we met a long time ago. When he was in high school, getting out of high school. We were both very young, and so I sing too, and so we have a friend, a mutual friend named Timothy. I can't think.
Oh,
Was that him who
Dabney.
introduced
Yeah,
us?
Timmy
Didn't
Dabney.
didn't he introduce us?
I think so. It's
Yeah.
been so long ago, but
If you-
I'm sure
yeah.
because he sang too.
Yeah. So he told me about um, someone who was looking for a third member of a group, a guy and a
Yes,
girl, and
yes.
he was looking for another guy. And so he introduced us. Well, I guess it exchanged numbers or whatever, and I came over and met with you and the young lady. Um, and y'all wanted to hear me. Now I don't remember for sure, but I think what I sung was a Michael Jackson song. I think
I have no
I
idea. You're
think
going
it
back
was.
to
I know it
you're
was a
going
long
back
time
to a
ago.
time
Yeah, yeah, it was a time.
where the
My voice
memory
was
is
high
short.
and all that. But somebody's calling me. I can't talk to you right now.
Yeah.
No, somebody's trying to call me. I have to call them back. But I think it was "I'll Be There," but I'm not sure. I'm
Mm.
not sure if I'll be there. But yeah, Devon and I and a young lady, we were in a trio.
Dina is her name.
Dina is her name. I didn't know she would be saying it.
Yeah.
But
My bad. Sorry, Dina.
Dina, well, Dina is her name. We were in a singing group together. And I remember that the harmonies were good and tight and all that kind of
Mhm.
stuff. And we did start working on choreography and all that. Now, see, back then, I was pretty good at picking up on choreography, a little better than I am now because after certain things, after certain things happen, traumatic things happen in my life,
Right.
which is something that I wrote about in my book that's not out yet. I kind of, I say in the book, I lost my dance. on my spirit of dancing.
Oh
So
wow.
because before when I used to go out and stuff, I used to dance all the time in the club or whatever. I would dance. I would be on the dance floor
Oh
too.
right.
But after certain things happened, I would go out. I wouldn't dance anymore. People were like, "Can you even dance?" I'm like, "I'll be standing on the wall," because I stopped dancing after that happened. But of course, I had to do it again when I started getting into musical plays and stuff like
Hmm.
that. Yeah, choreography and all that. But we, was in a group together and all that. And of course, things happen with life. Dina, she became with child and got married and all that kind of
I
stuff.
think, but
And
she
I don't
was
know,
already. Yeah, I think we were. I think we had already broken up
right?
before that. Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
because she was in another group at one point. So that was kind of
Oh,
after
okay.
that group. So I think we were just really young, and
Yeah.
we were really just kind of fresh out of high school,
Hmm.
and she was still in high school, by the
Hmm.
way. So it was just a lot, coming from
Yeah.
different parts. I think you were in Emerson Village at the time,
Yeah, I was.
and that was
I was.
not far from there.
You
Yeah,
were
and
like,
Dina was on the
you were
east
like on
side.
Franklintown Road. You was on
Yeah,
Franklintown Road.
and I was right not far from you. So, and Dina was on the east side, so it was really difficult. Like I said, she was still in high school at the time, so it
Hmm.
was, a lot to try to get together. And we weren't driving then. We were just
No,
struggling artists.
no, we was all busting it. We was all busting it.
Yeah.
And I'm still busting it because of
Uh,
certain things. Well, no,
uh,
I've talked about this before. The fact that I suffered a brain injury as a child and all
right.
that, and I haven't had one in a long time, but I've had seizures before. So that's the
Yeah. So
reason
you
why
can't
I don't
drive.
drive.
Right.
That's the reason why I don't drive, because I don't want to endanger other people or myself
Right.
behind the wheel. I mean, although it hasn't happened in years. I still don't want to take that chance.
Yeah. Of course. Of
But
course.
yeah, but you know, we're all still here and thriving and all that. So I'm not gonna say too much about Tina, but I would love at some point while we're still on this earth for us to do something,
Well,
to record
that's a
one.
conversation between
Yeah,
you and
yeah.
her.
Well, even if she,
Because she has a different life now, so she has other
oh,
things
I
going
understand.
that
I
she's
understand.
passionate about as
Yeah,
well. So
I
um,
understand. I understand.
yeah,
But even if she doesn't,
yeah. At least we can at least get together and go get dinner or something.
what'd
I
you
just,
say?
at least we can get together and go get dinner or something.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah, and
know?
I know you guys were trying to surprise me a couple of times, but
Yeah,
that didn't work out when I was doing that Otis Redding play. You
yeah,
know, you
yep.
know. Um, but yeah, but I want you to know that I'm very proud of you
Thank you,
and happy
and
for
I'm
you.
proud of you too because that last
Thank
play was
you.
really incredible. Troy Burton,
Yeah, soulmates.
Soulmates. It was really a
Yeah,
really great play. And
thank you.
congratulations because it's going to be at Artscape.
Yes, we're performing at
It's
Artscape.
public, right? I can
Uh,
say that. I
yeah,
can
it's
say it because it's
public
public.
now.
Okay.
It's been announced on social media. We
Yeah.
let Troy do that.
So
We couldn't say
congratulations.
anything in
Hopefully, I
public
think
until he
I'll be.
announced it.
I think I may be out of town, but hopefully, if hopefully I can.
August the 3rd.
Yeah, I'll be out
Yeah.
of town.
Well, we have another engagement to do the whole production. I can't really say
Oh,
when yet
okay.
or where it is.
Yeah.
But we have another engagement to do the whole production because of course we can't do the whole thing at Artscape
Right.
because you only have so much time.
Right.
We're doing a 45-minute set, and the
Okay.
whole show, and
It's
of course
about
you know
three
the whole
hours.
show is about 3 hours.
Yeah.
So, but we are going to be doing the whole production in late August.
Okay. So I
Uh,
should hopefully I'm here then. Yeah.
yeah,
I would love
actually,
to see it again though.
actually on the 23rd, but I can't say where yet
Mm.
because Tori get me. So I might have said too much already. But
Uh-oh.
he might put me on
Right.
punishment. So if he watches this, he may watch it.
Right.
But, but yeah, I'm so very proud of you, and
Thank you.
I respect you as an artist and as a person, as a human being, and of course I respect you as an artist because you're one of the only people that I actually. You're one of 3 people that I actually let hear the whole song that I recorded
Oh wow.
for my movie,
Oh wow.
right?
Yeah, it's
Everybody
really
else
nice.
everybody else just heard the teaser,
Right.
but you're one of the. I've only let two other people besides you hear the whole song.
Right. It's a
Okay,
really
because
nice song.
I trust your judgment. Thank you.
Did
And
you
it really
write it?
meant a
You
lot.
wrote it, right?
I co-wrote that particular
Okay.
song. Yeah, what happened was I actually interviewed her on the C Note a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay.
Um, and we were in New York on February 28th at the ASCAP membership event because we're both members of ASCAP, the System in Kenya. So what
Yeah.
happened was that for the song Jumbled Thoughts, which is named after my new film Jumbled Thoughts, I had some ideas for the song, and I gave her certain lines that I had words,
Hmm.
lyric for the song. So I gave her a few lines for the song. What she did was she took what I wrote and she just added to it and ran with
Okay.
it. And so she added, some verses and stuff like that. So some of my words are in the verses, along with some of her words are in the verses.
Right.
And and both of our words are in the chorus part together.
That's good.
So
Yeah. Yeah. Co-wrote together.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the other song, the Black Brother song, I wrote all those words. So the other song, Black Brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
So when is the movie coming out?
Well, trying to finish the editing now.
Hmm.
Hopefully soon. Of course, what I want to do is I want to try to submit it to a few film festivals first before
Right.
I put it out there in public. And eventually, once you've heard of Stream DMV, right?
Yes.
My other film was on it. Where
Hmm.
they're doing like some remodeling of that right now. But that's going to be back up to be the beginning of 2025. Stream DMV will be back up.
Okay.
So my goal is to, of course, my other film, The Eternal Extra, will be on there, and then I'm also planning on putting this film on there as well in the beginning of 2025 when they come back up. But I want to submit it to a couple of film festivals first, right? So yeah, so that it'll be out by the first, well, for the public by the first of the year, and I may have a screening which I'll
Oh,
invite some people to before
okay.
then.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, yeah. So I really, enjoyed this conversation with you, and
Fun.
I'm telling everybody they should go out or go stream
Yes.
your album Morning Sun, and that's SON, not SUN, but
Right.
Morning Sun,
Morning Sun.
SON, by Devon Howard. You're on all the streaming
All
platforms,
the
correct?
streaming platforms. I actually do have because people have been asking me for CDs and LPs,
Mm-hmm.
so I have that
I
now
was
as
going to
well.
ask you that. I
I
was going to
do.
ask you that.
Yep, I have LPs, albums, Morning Sun
Okay.
albums.
All right. Right.
Yeah, and yeah, so I had to get them done for the people who have been asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have that on my um, Shopify. So it's devonhowardshop.com.
Okay.
So, yep,
Okay.
and all the streaming platforms, of course, as well.
All the streaming platforms, and then they can get the CD, the album, and all
Yeah.
that. You got an LP. That's great.
Yes.
Great. They need to bring those back anyway.
Yeah.
They need to bring those back.
It was really weird because I listened to the album on a record player. I had to buy a record player because I didn't have one.
Uh-huh.
And it was really nostalgic to kind of hear it playing on a record player because
Okay.
that was kind of the dream for me, like just to have a record.
Yeah.
It wasn't to be a star really. It was just like I want a
Mm-hmm.
record. I just want to be on the album cover, and it's like to be able to hear my album that I produced to play on, to hear the crackling of
Yeah.
the vinyl.
Yeah. Yeah. That
Yeah,
crackling. Yeah. That
yeah,
sound.
it was
Yeah.
really
So
nostalgic.
you're in it for the passion, not
Yeah,
for
I mean,
your.
period.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I feel that.
and I'll tell you this real quick too with the album is that it was going to be an EP at first. It was only going to
Mm-hmm.
be like 5
Okay.
songs. And what happened was I just said, I'm always recording. So I said, let me just take some of the songs that I have sitting around that, just throw them on there. I
Right.
didn't really think much of it. And every single song on the album has played somewhere in the world on
Mm-hmm.
radio, which is incredible because it was beyond, I couldn't see it. I
Right.
just thought it was going to be filler.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, one of the consensus is that you can play the album all the way through. I'm like, wow, okay. I just couldn't see it
I said that
that
too.
way.
Other people are saying it's true. You can play it all the way through. It's a really great album.
Right.
It's
I
a
was
really
really
great
planning on moving on to the
album.
next thing once this came out because I felt like all the singles were done. And
Mm-hmm.
then we had a couple more. So that's the blessing. That's hard work. And so when you kind of work hard at everything, and a lot of times with a lot of those songs, there was no real intention behind them as far as putting them out or whatever. It's just recording and writing is what I felt, and I put it on recording. I recorded it, and that was it. And so I'm just happy that it connects, and it just kind of gave
Okay.
me another perspective on um, what I do, the artistry and the commitment behind what I do.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? I was still giving 100%, even though I knew or I felt like nobody would hear it.
Right.
I was still
Okay.
giving 100%,
Yeah.
even when I didn't plan to put it out. So that was always that's kind of like okay, that's kind of what you would want artists that you listen to be or to do,
Right.
to put their all into it, even if it doesn't come out.
You always should put your all into everything you do.
Yes,
Otherwise,
yes.
there's no use in doing it if you're not going to give it your all.
For real,
Right.
like every video, every photo, everything, I'm always kind of in the moment. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
just really focusing on what it is that I'm feeling in the moment. Because that's what artistry is, it's a
Mm-hmm.
feeling, right?
Yeah.
That's what creativity is. It's just feeling. And I don't want to fake the feeling.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I can always tell when it's fake. I'm like, okay,
Mm-hmm.
Even when I hear songs, I'm like, okay, this is good, but it's just like you can kind of tell some people kind of dialed it in or they're going through the motions
Mm-hmm.
just to get the record, to get a hit record. I'm like sometimes like I said, I listen to people like Angela Bofield and I just feel
Yeah.
every song.
Rest in
And Anita
power
Baker just
to her.
every song.
Rest
Yes,
in power
exactly.
to Angela Bofield.
Yes, she's one of my all-time favorites and just something that you get out of, like when somebody's singing or their work. It's like okay, Stacey Lattisaw. It's just like when she was, especially when she
Yeah.
was young. It's like the passion that she had as a young girl. It's like wow, and
Mm-hmm.
even as she grew up, it's like she was locked in
Right.
on every song. So and those are people I still listen to all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I saw with Angela Bofield, they said people were really she's getting new fans now because people are streaming her music since she
Yeah,
passed. And I'm like,
yeah.
it's a shame that she had to pass away to get people
Well,
to
that's
listen
how
to
it
her
goes,
music.
though. That's kind of
Yeah,
how it goes, though. People respect you more when you're gone. They respect your
that's
work more when you're
sad.
gone. So
Yeah,
if
yeah.
something happens to me, I'm gonna shut all my music down so nobody can hear nothing.
No,
No,
you're not.
respect me. Respect me now. Don't wait till I'm done
No,
to
you're
start playing
not.
my stuff.
Well, I have three
No,
more
so
questions, if I
okay,
can remember all three of them.
okay.
Have you started working on your next album yet?
I have.
Okay.
Well, I'm not doing another album. I'm just gonna do singles or EPs from now on.
Okay.
So I have started already. Like I said, I always record anyway. I have a lot of stuff written. I'm just getting it down when I have a chance to.
Mm-hmm.
So, yep.
Okay, so are there any artists out there, well-known artists or whatever, Miss Janet Jackson, who I love, and a lot of other people,
That's I do too.
that you would like to do something with, record with?
Um, uh, yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure. Definitely Janet. I love her voice. I would really like to do
You know what
something with
bugs
her.
me? When
Huh?
people always saying that she can't sing, and I don't like that because
Right,
they think that somebody always have to have a big booming voice
right,
to sing, and everybody don't have a big
right.
booming voice, right?
Well,
She
she
has a
does well. She uses her voice to the best of the best of her ability. She's at 100% with her voice. You feel what she does. She's in
hmm
it, and that's it. It's a feeling. Like of course, you can always create this thing like this is what a singer is, but
hmm
she has records that are very emotional and very
Yeah,
emotes like passion. And so I think to
yeah,
me that's what an artist is. They can really take something and bring life to it, and
I, I agree.
other people can feel it. So if you're talking about a lot of people look at church singers as real singers, okay, but
Well,
everybody's not going to be that.
no,
So
everybody. not going to be that, nor should everybody be
Right.
that. And as somebody who was in church singing on the choir, you have to be able to switch that up. You can't
Yes.
be saying
If you're doing other types
everything,
of music,
right.
right.
Everything can't sound like a church song.
Right.
You got to know when to pull back and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
And, have
And so
some levels
she's
to it.
definitely a singer. She
Mm-hmm.
can sing,
Mm-hmm.
period. But I wouldn't put her, I wouldn't say, oh, she's a Whitney type of singer. She's not. She's a Janet
Right.
type of singer.
Yeah,
And that's
I,
enough. And I
there's
think
different
that
types. Yeah.
one of the things that I feel grateful for is that I never really try to categorize what I do.
Mm-hmm.
I never try to categorize what other people do, because if that's the gift that you've been given, then that's what you
Mm-hmm.
are given to work with, and that's your blessing,
Right.
and you're using that blessing to bless other people. So I don't really care about who's better than who, even with the number one songs on the charts, and I'm grateful for it. I don't get so caught up in it that I'm chasing it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I'm grateful because it's validation that what I am doing is connecting and that
Mm-hmm.
people are enjoying it. So that's always something that artists want to know.
Yes.
But past that, I don't, in regards to it being better than somebody else, I don't really care about all of that.
Right.
I never really categorize my voice or my talent in that way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I hear people, it's either I like them or I don't.
Right.
It's because either it connects or it
Yeah.
doesn't. You know what I mean? And same thing when
Yeah.
people hear me,
Mm-hmm.
it either connects or it doesn't. And I'm okay either way. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because people like what they like, and it's okay.
That's true.
You
There's a lot of
know?
comparing going on nowadays. I really don't like all that comparing,
Yeah,
because
it's just
they're always
crazy.
putting up these memes about, and they have like four different, and it's always black singers against black singers.
I see it. I
Who did
see
it
it.
better? I don't like
Yeah,
all that stuff. I
but
really don't.
if you really believe in God, then this is your
Mm,
gift. You've been
mm,
gifted to share this special thing with the world, and then for it to be compared is like, okay, it takes away the God part of
yeah,
it. You know what I mean? It takes away the the deeper part of it, the
I
deeper
agree.
meaning of having that to share it. It's like, okay, you're individual because that's who you're
Mm,
supposed to be. You
mm,
have a special thing that you're supposed to share, whatever that thing
mm.
is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And so that's kind of how I approach it when I'm in the studio. I don't really think about, oh, is this going to be a hit record? Oh, I'm
Mhm.
only focused on
There
what
y'all
it feels like.
waving. Uh-huh.
Who is it?
I can't really see who's waving because I don't have these
Oh,
glasses
okay.
on. But yeah,
Yeah, but
but yeah, some
and
people
that's
are
it. It's
waving.
just like, so for me, that's my focus, and I'm grateful because it seems like it's connecting, and that's all you
Mhm.
ever want as an artist.
Right. It has to be something that connects and that feeds people.
Hmm.
Spirit. So,
Exactly.
so one of the last questions that I had was, are you going to be touring or performing
Yes.
live in
So I've
the?
already started doing some things,
Mhm.
and have some other things that are in the works. And one of the things I'm looking forward to is kind of going over to England and doing some
Mhm.
things there.
Mhm.
So we're trying to work that out now, and I'm working on trying to put a show together. So I'm trying to figure out what that's going to look like and what that's going to be.
Right.
So it's fun. It's taxing
Mhm.
because I'm trying to record and do that.
Right.
So
Right.
and do shows too. But
Mhm.
you know, it's part of the gig. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I got you. So, do you have any like television appearances coming up where you're going to be performing your new single or anything like
No,
that?
no
Okay.
television appearances, but I do. I just did a couple shows, um, and so for me, they're kind of like, okay, kind of getting my feedback wet again because it's been a
Mhm.
minute since I've been on stage, and it was fun. I enjoyed myself. Um, for me, it's when you have to do like 30 minutes, 20
Yeah.
minutes, 30 minutes straight,
Mhm.
and so it's really building that stamina back up to do that.
Oh,
Um,
believe me, I get it. I get it.
yeah,
Because
and it's
like
really good.
like I was saying, I went from like singing every day in
Mhm.
church and all that kind of stuff, and doing other singing, from not singing a note for months at a time.
Yeah,
Right. I wasn't singing for months at a time, and I realized that when I started trying to sing again, how it affected my voice. Because at
yes,
first I didn't have, because I started singing when I was like real little. So, and I was singing every day. So when I was doing that, I had no problem with breath control, right?
Yeah.
No problem at all with breath control. But when I went months at a time without singing a note, I mean, I wouldn't sing not one note. I wouldn't
Right.
have even singing around the house. So when I tried to do it again, I felt the difference when I was trying to breathe and sing.
And
Right?
it's a lot. It's a huge. It's funny because same for me. It's not that I wasn't singing,
Hmm.
but I was only singing in the studio when it was time to write or record. And then all the other time, and that could be kind of, it could be days or maybe a week or two that I'm not singing nothing.
Hmm.
And so same, it's like your breathing, your stamina,
Yeah.
it's shifts, and it's like,
And
okay, now I feel like I'm back, working out and trying to get that build that back up, and really, because
yeah,
like I said, a 30-minute show is a workout. So
it
it's
is.
as a
Yeah.
solo, it's a workout because you can't pass it off to somebody else, or somebody else has another part coming in somewhere. It's all you all the
Right.
time. So,
Right.
and that's where the work comes in at.
Yeah. Exactly. So I want to say again that when I let you hear that song,
Hmm.
Jumble Thoughts, and you text me back and said you love my vocals on the song. That meant a
Hmm.
lot to me. That
It
meant a
was
lot to
very
me
good.
coming from you. Thank you. It meant a lot to me coming from you because I do have a lot of respect for you as an artist, and I love your voice. Like when I was advertising this episode, I was saying your voice is smooth like butter and all that because it is. You have that very smooth.
What's funny
Um,
is that people I've done some interviews, and people always, the smoothness is one thing, and I've heard that my whole career,
mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, but it's the Michael Jackson comparison that I'm hearing a lot now. Even when I just listened
Okay.
to the radio, the song just came on WHUR early, and they mentioned Michael Jackson. That
Mhm.
my voice sounded like Michael
Okay.
Jackson, and it's funny because it's
Well,
not
I would
intentional.
take that. Shit.
Listen, I'm not mad at it, okay,
Right,
but
exactly.
but it's not intentional. So it's not like
Right,
saying,
I
"Oh, let me sound
understand.
like Michael Jackson." Um, it's just that that's how people hear, and it's funny because I can't hear it. Every now and then I can hear some nuance or something that pops in.
Right.
To me, I'm hearing Babyface,
Okay.
or sometimes I hear Elder Barge or
Yeah.
somebody, but
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay. I think every now and then I can hear a little bit of Michael, but with Holding On, I can't hear it at all. I don't hear
Mhm.
Michael at all.
So
But they're saying
so people saying that they hear Michael and holding on.
yes, and I'm like, okay.
I
I
can
mean,
sort of hear it.
I'm not mad at it.
Right.
Listen, it's Michael Jackson.
That's an awesome comparison to be
Exactly.
compared
But
to beat Michael Jackson. Yeah.
yes. But I just couldn't hear it. And so, but it's a blessing to be able to be compared to, or somebody of that caliber. He is the
Hmm.
highest of
Yes.
performers and entertainers. He's the pinnacle of that.
Hmm.
And so to get that comparison without being a copycat
Right.
is you know
Right.
is
That's it right there.
compliment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
yeah, but I hear
Well,
it
you
a lot.
deserve it.
It's like, okay, I've done some magazine stuff, and we didn't even talk about Michael in depth like that, but it's on the cover of something like, oh, he sounds like Michael Jackson. I'm like, oh, okay.
Oh,
Like,
wow. Okay.
yeah,
All
okay.
right.
I'll accept that, but um, I pride myself on being individual, but he is a
Mhm.
huge influence, though. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, I understand that having influences and all that.
yeah.
I don't know. My voice all over the place. I have different sounds. I mean, there are people that influence me. Well, I always talk about Marvin Gaye. I love Marvin Gaye.
Yes,
I love Michael too because, like I think I said, what I said when we met in the song, I think I sung for you guys. I think it was "I'll Be There," if I'm not mistaken, back
but
then.
but
For Michael
Michael is
Jackson.
kind of woven, and the Jacksons are woven into the fabric
Yeah.
of culture.
Hmm.
So they
Yeah.
are part of culture because
Hmm.
a lot of people were born, they were already out before people were born.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I mean?
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
so for us, I don't remember ABC and Want You Back and all that other stuff. I just kind of
Mhm.
remember from Thriller, Off the Wall, and just even Off the Wall,
Yeah.
just kind of like but it wasn't until
Yeah.
Thriller that I was like, okay, you know. But they were woven into the fabric of culture, so it's like second nature for everybody to know or love something Jackson related.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I
most
got you.
artists are influenced by the Jacksons in some way,
Mm-hmm.
because they kind of dominated creativity and just style. So
true. I saw one of those comparisons yesterday, but it was actually two Michael Jackson songs where
Mm.
they were comparing. It was like, which one you prefer, Human Nature or Liberian Girl,
Oh,
right? And I'm like, I love both of them.
right.
I love both of those songs, of course, but Human Nature has a little bit more pull to
The
me a little
groove. It's just
bit. But of
like
course, I like both of them.
it's just a funkier, groovier. You know what I'm saying? It's a
Yeah.
pocket. It's like a one of a kind song
Hmm.
that you just don't hear. You never heard anything like it before, and you just haven't heard anything like it since. So,
Exactly.
and he's the right artist for it. Like he was the right singer, and people don't have to remember Michael was only like 24 years old when he was singing that stuff and
Hmm.
writing that stuff. That's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
To
It
be
is.
that young creating classics. In
Hmm.
fact, he was creating classics since he was 10 years old. So, you know what I mean? So that's
Yes,
just
he was.
normal.
Yes,
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah. So,
Well, thank you so much
well,
for
thank
agreeing
you for having me,
to be on the
Cortez.
Casino. Of
Yes.
course, Devon. I love you, my brother.
I
And
love you
like I
too.
said, I have the most respect
Thank
for you and love and
you.
appreciation for you. And
Thank
I'm
you.
very happy for
And
you.
still no Dina. I'm gonna text
Yeah,
as soon as I get
one
off of this
of these
call.
days. Okay.
Yeah.
One of these days. All right. Have a good week, good
All
evening.
right. I'll talk to you soon.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, y'all. I'll see y'all next month. Bye.